waiting for it to, for some reason it won't download it like it says it will. It says it's been downloaded and it's available offline, but it won't play it without pausing, see? Why are you filming me? I'm not going to sing this song. No. I'm not singing. That's not even the right song.
He realized it wasn't the right song, y'all. Hey everyone, welcome to So I Married a Geek, the show where we invite you into what we call the adventure of our life together, where someone, Phil, married a geek, me, Gavin.
I hitched my wagon to a psychotic star.
Not like two cats fucking though, like it's not hitched like that. Where they get like stuck together.
See, y'all, this is what I live with. Like, y'all can get to hear it when it's on the show. I had no idea those words would come out of his mouth when I said that.
Well, have you ever seen the two cats stuck? It's the most awkward thing. It's like an 8-legged beast just like...
No, I've never had cats, but also the expression hitched my wagon to a star, you think of cats having sex.
I don't know.
This is what I live with. This is why I always say, if we had cameras following us 24/7, y'all's head might explode the way mine does on a regular basis.
I wonder how much they'd have to bleep out.
Well, with my mouth, like, they would have to bleep out. It would be like an episode of one of those reality shows I watch where you hear people yelling and it's just like a series of bleeps, and you hear, and then just every rest of it's bleeped out. That's
Yeah,
what it would be like.
we do. I want us to have a reality show. That's, I think, the ultimate goal of this show is for people to just follow us around.
I don't think the world could handle this craziness. I've teased him before, y'all, that he has like 3 squirrels in his head that tell him what to say and do, and that one of them is like a little Russian squirrel with an eye patch, and she like spent time in the gulag, and like,
so I made
she's
him
the crazy one who gives him crazy words to say.
I made him a Christmas ornament of Natasha. I found a squirrel and I gave her an eye patch and stuff. Like, it's on our Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's what it's like with him. And the little one-eyed bitch is usually the one who wins, who holds up a sign of like, say kill them, and that's what he does.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. So we thought let's just wrap up the week talking about some of the films we've watched recently. I want to start with Free Guy because Phil wouldn't see it without me.
My bad. I went with my brother to see it.
Knowing that I wanted to go see that movie. He's like, oh, well,
I didn't know you wanted to see that movie.
How could I not want to see that movie? Like, I'm the one who books all of our movies on the AMC stubs.
But sometimes I go to the movies with my brother, and he wanted to see that movie, and I was like, oh yeah, it's got Ryan Reynolds.
And this bitch, don't forget, he doesn't remember a thing about it.
I don't remember it.
I loved that movie. I bought it the other day because it was on sale. I was like, I love that movie. I thought they found a really good way of interpreting the story and talking about AI and just how they executed the movie. Wakita, whatever his name is always hilarious.
Taika Waititi
is always hilarious. Loved him since What We Do in the Shadows. Like, dude is always hilarious. He was hilarious in this movie. Like, sleazy game mogul creator who stole, like, that's just funny. So the movie's really, like, if you're a gamer, you've watched it. But it's one of those ones I think kind of flew under the radar because Disney bought, Fox and COVID and all that stuff. So I'm really happy they still stuck with it because there's all these fun movies that they're really geared towards the gamer market. People don't watch, like, Boss Level is fucking great. Arch Enemy, fucking great. Stuff like that. So Boss Level was on Netflix, and it's kind of like a Groundhog Day. But the guy's trying to...
like the nightmare I had the other night.
And then Arch Enemy is he or isn't he really a superhero from another planet? What's going on? Like, so yeah, there's this is very much in the vein of that, like Hardcore Henry. Really fun movie to watch. Absolutely loved it. We watched Dune.
Wasn't Boss Level the name of the card game we played?
Yes.
What's the name of that
Boss
game?
Monster.
Boss Monster. That's a fun card game.
We did watch Dune. I had been waiting for Dune.
I had been waiting for it as well.
But we have two very, like, I don't understand how you did not expect what you got. Dune is not a fast-moving book by any means. So I'll start. I love the movie. Perfect world building, great setup. You knew it was going to be a 2-part movie. Don't know why they didn't film them together. Like, they took their time to let you understand what's going on.
No.
So people who didn't know, like, he wasn't paying attention, obviously.
I paid attention last night. And to me, they spent a lot of time world building in the sense that the director was obsessed with making sure every shot was gorgeous and beautiful and over the top. but he really didn't care about dialogue, narrative, explaining the backstory, telling you why people were doing what they were doing. It's just like, you have to accept there is an emperor. You have to accept there's
You accepted there was an emperor in Star Wars. Nobody questioned it.
I was also a little kid when I watched it. As an adult, I like to have some sort of backstory when I watch. And that wasn't it.
They
that
gave you enough backstory to understand.
It seemed like a complete afterthought where the director was like, you know what Dune is. Everyone knows what Dune is. So I'm just going to jump right in and you're just going to go along for the ride because everybody knows Dune. Well, I wanted to know a little bit more about what I was watching, and there was none of that. And also, y'all, I'm not a really big fan of Jason Momoa. I know everybody thinks he's really hot, but in this movie, it was like, it almost seemed like a waste. It was like you brought in this guy who actually was a really badass character just to waste.
We already knew everybody died. Like,
I didn't know everybody died. I didn't read the books.
I did read the first book.
The concept because I played the game when I was a kid. The PC game, which was awesome.
So I think they did a bang up job of setting up the world and letting you understand what was happening. The Emperor jealous of other families that get too popular, so he orchestrates ways for them to be taken out. And in this case, it was taking the most powerful thing away from the Harkonnens, so they would go and retaliate. I mean, everyone knew. The Bene Gesserits were explained, the space witches, the prophecy. I mean, it's more will be explained in the second one.
They didn't explain the space witches very well. They just had this random chick who's like, "Stick your hand in a box, or I'll kill you." And I was like, "What is her deal?"
So, anyways, greatly enjoyed the movie.
Glad you did.
We also watched The Forever Purge, which I went in with zero expectations on because I love 1, 2, and 3. Thought the first Purge was okay.
I like 2.
Didn't watch the TV series. Don't know how you can stretch that out over that long. So we saw The Forever Purge, and of course, it's set in Texas.
Why wouldn't it be good old Texas?
And it's dealing with racism and government issues. Like, serious to God, I don't think they realized how close to reality they were when they wrote this film.
Yeah, you asked me that question. Like, do you think the guy who did the first movie thought like, "Oh wow, we might actually come close to that"? I'm sure he did
very much because I was mad because throwing it into with them getting rid of the Purge. Well, it's 8 years later. She's not in office anymore. They bring back in the founding fathers and they reinstate the Purge. And of course, it's a very Trump era in the movie where
it was made.
People are very disjointed and extreme, and they decide we're not going to stop the Purge in Texas, and then it just spreads all over the place.
I mean, it's not that far off if you pay attention. Like, there are editorials right now that are like predicting what the second American Civil War might look like. So I mean, this Forever Purge ain't that far off from what they're thinking the world could look like if it goes that direction, because of a certain president we had who encouraged and condoned racism and white supremacy and all that kind of crazy, ridiculous shit.
It doesn't have a happy ending. It is a very good movie. I greatly enjoyed it more than I thought I would because I was like, wow, this is hitting a little too close to home after the last 4 years it's had.
Like, I wanted to watch it right around Halloween. He's like, no, not right now. Like, it's going to be too close to home. I just know it. And it was. God knows if this were going to happen in America, Texas is likely where it would start.
And I'm not surprised at all by it. Like, it was really sad thinking, did they know how, especially after, they stormed the Capitol, and we watched the Comedy Central guy goes to all these Trump rallies, and they honestly believe all these conspiracies and these extremists, and people are complaining about the border like it's a new issue when it's never been a new issue.
And they point out, he's pointing out to them that socialism, communism, and fascism are not the same thing, but people who don't know better and believe all these conspiracy theories use the words interchangeably like they mean the same thing.
Yeah, it's very
so Texan.
It's like when they didn't release The Hunt because people weren't quite sure about The Hunt because Trump had just come out. The Hunt is a social commentary about influencers, and people who pretend to be social justice warriors. Like, it's a commentary about that. The Hunt is an amazing. It's so fucking funny, y'all. I love The Hunt. It's on HBO Max. But that was another one that got kind of miscategorized, and I went in with different expectations. I think everyone did. They were judging things on their face. You can't misinterpret fucking The Forever Purge.
No.
This is where we were going, y'all. That's pretty much what it's telling you. And of course I was watching going, white people make the best villains. Like, we had Germany, we had, colonialism, we had, like, white people can be the bit, like, fucked up villains in this movie. Some white Texan people who are racist as fuck.
We're lucky that we live in one of the more liberal places in Texas, but God knows, just an hour away, 2 hours away, you can be in. I mean, hell, 30 minutes away, you can be in Trump territory. And he's not even the fucking president anymore. Sorry,
but people honestly think he is, and it's all
that's the sad side.
But Biden's not doing any better, y'all. Like
at least he's not encouraging racism and white supremacy.
But he's not changing the country for the better.
No, he's.
We needed Bernie for that, and people were too afraid.
He wouldn't have been able to either. The reality,
he would have fought to get it done.
The reality is, there are people who have lots and lots of money and lots of influence, and they don't like when you talk about taking their money from them. Look at how Elon Musk reacted to it. The man has more money than anyone on the planet and started bitching about having to pay taxes on it. Like, God forbid.
I don't know why, though. Like, if you have that much money, you're not going to feel it in the long run.
There was a meme I saw, y'all, that I think is so true, and it said, if we saw in the wild a monkey that was hoarding bananas and not sharing with other monkeys and had more bananas than it could ever eat in its lifetime, scientists would study it to try to figure out what was wrong with it. But when human beings do it, we put them on the cover of Forbes magazine. Just saying. But that's because in America, we bought into this whole thing that capitalism is the greatest thing ever. Money and capitalism are the root of all evil.
Well, this movie is very much going to go down the road. Watch it. It's lots of fun. Great masks. No. The racists had some great masks. I know that sounds really awful to say, but the mask designs, top notch. Loved it. And then the other night, because he was out with family, I was really bored. I bought The Eyes of Tammy Faye because I really wanted to see it in theaters, and it was nowhere here.
Somebody forgot I really wanted to see that movie too.
And so I watched that movie. Holy crap. We've always said some of the worst people we've ever met have hid behind the face of Christianity.
Oh, yes.
Mega churches, prosperity gospel, they're all scams. They're all cults. This movie does a really good job of displaying that and being respectful about displaying it, but also showing how people can get lost in it who just want to do good. Like, I only knew Tammy Faye as that crazy lady with all the makeup. I didn't know.
I knew their story. Some of it, not all of it.
Well, I didn't know their whole story, but I knew what had happened. But I didn't know how LGBTQ friendly she was and all the efforts she did to try to bridge those gaps and how the church constantly shut her down. I didn't understand her story. And I know it's not 100% accurate, but like there's a point in the movie where she realizes her husband's gay. And she's just watching like, why doesn't he touch me like that? Like, it's fucking, this movie's 100% amazing. I absolutely love it. I'm probably going to watch it tonight because I want to watch it again. It was really, really good.
Because somebody didn't remember I wanted to watch that
movie. Well, someone didn't remember I wanted to go see Free Guy, and he went to go see it with his brother. What now, bitch? I can do my head better than you.
That's why I was making fun of you, because you were complaining earlier in the episode.
Fuck you. I can complain. You can't do shit. So, yeah, that's been this week's episode of So I Married a Geek. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. Send us your questions. We're going to do another week before Thanksgiving.
I'm sure one of the questions is going to be like, why did you hate Dune? Or why didn't you like Dune? Because everybody who I've said so far is like, it was just kind of okay. Like, what?
Send us your questions. We're going to do an Ask Us Anything episode next week. Then we're going to take a couple weeks off for Thanksgiving. We'll be back up in December. Do a couple weeks then. We're going to take the last half of December off. Just because holidays are so busy.
You lazy.
I always take the holiday times off because this takes a lot of effort to do what we do. And holidays, it's just sometimes you just want to do things and just relax. So we will film some things here and there, but we won't have a weekly release during the holidays. It'll be more of special editions. It'll be lots of fun. Like, we are going to do what are we thankful for Thanksgiving. So that'll be our Thanksgiving Day episode. We will do a Christmas morning episode for you guys. You guys can see the truth of how awesome I am.
I'm glad you're so humble about it.
You will see. There is no reason for me to be humble. None. No reason for me to be humble right now. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe wherever you're at. Comment, send us questions. Let us know your thoughts, especially because Phil had a song yesterday, and I reviewed Hero Quest the other day. We're gonna have lots of fun. So stay tuned for more as we get into Thanksgiving of So I Married a Geek. And we're glad you guys are watching.
Thanks for the love.
It's not always easy for him to talk about things. I talk about anything. And like you said, just thanks for the love, y'all. We do this because we love it. And we want people to experience our life and ups and downs and everything we've had because he's grown a lot. I've grown a little.
Yeah. You've changed a lot since I first met you.
I'm more tolerant of you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So we'll see you guys next week for more So I Married a Geek episodes every day at noon.